Hey guys, Jonty Hikmet here, welcome to my channel. Different video today. Usually I have my whiteboard, today I don't, but still doing an important video nonetheless. In today's video, I want to speak about the 10 challenges and the 10 antidotes to those challenges of this TMS chronic pain relief process. So you may be watching this in my community, so maybe you've heard this before, or maybe this is the first time that you're watching this. If it is the first time you're watching anything like this, the TMS process is the process that we use to get lasting relief from chronic pain, migraines, back pain, stomach pain, pelvic pain, all these kinds of things. So I've got many videos on the subject. This video, I'm going to speak about the 10 most common challenges to starting a process like this. So I've got some notes here, just because there's a couple of points I want to make. So let's get stuck in. Challenge number one is that people will doubt that the TMS process will work. The doubt that this could be what's causing pain in the body is enough to prevent people from starting the process in the first place. In this process, we teach people that repressing emotions can cause pain to become chronic in the mind and the body. And that can all feel a bit invisible and not real, frankly, to people. So they doubt it. They go, this can't be me. Surely there must be something structural going on for me. Surely it's that my back is misaligned, or I just need this one stretch or this one pill and then things will go away. So I come along and I say, it's repressed emotions. You need to learn how to welcome emotions. That releases stagnant energy in the nervous system, and then the pain goes away. They doubt that entirely. So that's a big challenge for people. I was told that anger could be causing my chronic pain for many years. And I was just like, I don't know what that means. I doubted it for years. The antidote to that is to understand that doubt is just another emotion that we have to learn how to accept. In this process, we learn how to welcome and allow all emotions, including an emotion like doubt. Some people, they start this and they think, I'm doubting that it's going to work. Does that mean it's going to be effective for me? Of course it can be. Yes. It's not, you don't have to 100% believe that this is going to work for you for it to work. I've done other videos about that. Over time, when you start the process and you start allowing yourself to feel doubt and allowing yourself to feel other emotions, you start to notice that emotions rise and fall, and you begin to, on your own volition, believe that the process works for you. So doubt is not a hindrance to starting. It's very much an emotion that's welcome. Of course, I can't prevent people if they're doubting so much this process that they're not willing to even contemplate starting. I can't help that. If someone's not ready to, then they're not ready to. But that's challenge number one, doubt. Challenge number two is not knowing how to do the tools properly. So we learn about meditation, we learn about journaling, we learn about self-talk, and these are hard tools to understand how to do properly. They can often overwhelm us. We'll often feel very confused and full of doubt and restless when we're using these tools, and we'll open the eyes at the end of meditation, or we'll finish the journaling session and we won't know that we've done them properly or not. It was like, was that effective? My pain's still here. It's not a quick fix like with other pain solutions where you take a pill and the thing goes away. Meditation and journaling, it's really a skill. It's hard to understand if you're doing it properly at first. So the antidote to this, and meditation and journaling tend to be the most popular tools that are recommended in this process. So it's what everyone's going to have to do at some point. The antidote to this, as you're going to see, is the antidote to a lot of these challenges, is to get support. I started my community to help people learn these skills, to get support and guidance, because these are things that you can learn, and they are things that will get you better if you're willing to learn them, if you're willing to go through the challenges. If you don't want to join a support community, you can read lots of books about the subject. You can listen to podcasts about the subject. Just get lots of help, and know that with meditation and journaling, part of the reason they're difficult is because they're meant to be difficult. You get symptoms in the first place because of an inability to allow discomfort to be here. And then you start to meditate and journal, notice lots of discomfort, notice you're feeling fear and that you don't like the fear, and then you run away from it. It's like, no, you're learning how to get comfortable in that discomfort. You're learning how to get comfortable with uncertainty. It often arises in meditation and journaling. So the antidote is to get support, whether in community, one-on-one, or books or podcasts, and to recognize that discomfort is the purpose of these tools. Challenge number 3, struggling to build the habit of doing these tools. You know, on the one hand, a lot of people come to see me and their life is busy. They've got young kids, they have a full-time job, or whatever else is going on for you in your life. It's just difficult to incorporate some of these tools into our lives. It can often feel, even if you are doing the tools, it can feel as if it's not working. So it feels like, is this habit even worthwhile doing? You don't get instant results from it. There may also be a lot of internal resistance to doing some of these tools, because in meditation and journaling, we start to see ourselves for who we really are. We start to see parts of us that we don't like. We don't like being uncertain. We don't like being confused. We like to be in control. We don't like that all these things are arising for us. So on a daily basis, when it comes time to sit in this practice again, that's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be a lot of internal resistance to it, the likes of which will prevent the habit from even starting in the first place. The antidote to this is having accountability buddies, having someone around you that can hold you accountable. Maybe that means going to a meditation class regularly. Maybe that means, again, being in some sort of community where you're being helped. Maybe it means doing these things with friends. There's lots of books about how to create habits, one of which is called Atomic Habits, which is a wonderful book. I also recommend reading that if you're struggling to cultivate good habits in your life. Challenge number 3, struggling to create habits. Let's move on. Challenge number 4, experiencing what's called a healing crisis. This is something that can often happen at the beginning of starting this process. We're meditating, we're journaling, we're starting to welcome emotions that we're not used to welcoming. And that can make the nervous system all feel a bit dysregulated, more so than usual. And we call this a healing crisis because it's a crisis that occurs when we start to heal. And often people will believe that they're getting worse. They'll believe that they're going backwards, and they'll start to fear the process. But actually, this is a sign that things are working. So the antidote to this is know that it's normal. And most of us experience a healing crisis when we start this process. It's part of the process. The nervous system is learning to be okay with discomfort. And what feels really big and really uncomfortable when we start this, a couple of weeks, months down the line, is going to feel really easy. It's going to feel like I can be with this fear, I can be with this anger. It's just at first, it's new. It's like going to the gym, picking up a weight that you're not used to lifting and lifting it, and it's really uncomfortable. But the more that you do it, the more it's like, I can do this now. It's easy. I always relate this to the gym. So again, having support here is key. Being around other people that have walked the path, that can help tell you you're fine, this is exactly where you need to be. That can really help support this. So you'll see it's the antidote to a lot of the challenges. So challenge number 5. During this process, whether it's in the first couple of weeks, months, or even 6, 7, 8 months down the line, even a couple of years in, we're going to have setbacks. We're going to have difficult days. And on those moments, for a lot of people who have been in chronic pain for a long time, it's going to feel like they're back to square one. They'll call it a relapse. They'll feel like all this progress I've made is for nothing. It's hard for a lot of people to be going long term, to keep going long term. This often happens at what I call the intermediate stage of this process. A couple months in, they've had a lot of epiphanies, they've had some great moments, they've seen the pain come and go, and then they wake up one morning and it feels like they're back at square one. It feels like they're experiencing a lot of pain, a lot of emotions they don't like. The antidote to this is to expect these days. This is the reality of life, because often we're struggling with chronic pain for so long, we forget what normal is. We forget that some days are going to be difficult. I still experience difficult days in my life. It doesn't matter that I've gotten over my chronic pain. It doesn't matter that I teach this for a living. I have difficult days because that's the reality of life. But now the difference is I let myself feel anxious and angry in my meditation. I know that the purpose of meditation is to show up each day in a new way and to be with what is here for you today. It doesn't matter that yesterday meditation was great. It doesn't matter that the last week it's been great. Today I'm feeling quite challenged emotionally and maybe physically. I need to learn how to readjust things. I need to learn in the moment, this is what is occurring for me in my meditation today. That's fine. That's the reality of life. Maybe I've been overworking this week. I need to consider that. Maybe I've been putting a conversation off. I need to consider that. Maybe I just need a break this weekend. I need to consider that. Your mind and body is working for you. On any given day, even a couple months in, when it feels like you're having a relapse day, you're not. You're just having a very normal day in life where you're challenged by things. You need to look at your life, be okay with the emotions coming up for you, and maybe adjust some things, or maybe decide you're going to take the day off, whatever it is. That's challenge number 5, setbacks and difficult days. Challenge number 6. Some of the rest of these challenges, they're going to be very much about some of the first 5 challenges, but I'm still going to say them. Challenge number 6 is that we're relearning a whole new way of being. We were never taught, most of us in the West, were never conditioned to learn how to actually sit with emotions, particularly uncomfortable ones. We were taught to rescue ourselves from them. We were taught if someone cries to try to make them not cry and to make them feel better. Don't feel your anger, be positive all the time. So, and in this process, you're relearning a whole new way of being. You're learning how to let yourself just have fear in the body. You're learning how to just let yourself feel anger, whether it's in the meditation or the journaling or the self-talk that you're learning. It's hard at first. It's hard for a long time not to just try to make yourself think positive and try to fix the situation. Even though there is validity to having an optimistic perspective, being resilient, and it's something that I speak about in my community, it's hard not to, we quickly try and rescue and fix and figure out our emotions before we let ourselves sit with them. And that's is a challenge for people, to relearn that way of being. So the antidote to this is to give yourself time to rewire to this. Again, be around other people that can reaffirm this to you over and over again. The process is about learning how to welcome all of you, not about just learning to feel better in any given moment. And when you learn to welcome all of you, it starts to become a lot easier over time to just go, it's okay to feel afraid. It needn't overwhelm me. The only reason it may have overwhelmed me in the past is because I was resisting the experience of the emotion. Now I'm learning to sit with it's okay. You're, again, learning to build a new muscle. Take it day by day. Get support if you need. That's challenge number 6. Challenge number 7 is wanting quick results. People often want a quick fix. They don't want a process. They want the pill. They want the silver bullet. They've tried everything and maybe they're tired. Like I tried so many different treatments. By the time I got to a process like this, I was like, can it just work by next week? I've been going to gastroenterologists and having MRIs and going to doctors for so many years now. And now you're telling me that this is going to take months, maybe? It's like it was difficult. So when results are slow, it's very quick to jump to the conclusion that this isn't working. And I empathize. I understand. It's not how we've been trained to understand how to work at solutions to problems. We think solutions should be immediate, otherwise they're ineffective. You have to, in this process, shift from being outcome-focused to being process-focused. We're not trying to get rid of pain fast. We're actually learning a whole new way of being. And if that sounds daunting to you watching this, know that the outcome of this, however long process, month-long process, is you not only begin to understand and get lasting relief from your chronic symptoms, you also learn a whole new way of being. You learn to be more intuitive. You learn how to trust your internal guiding mechanism. You change your careers if you need to. You learn about boundaries and relationships. This process empowers you so much more than just getting relief from your chronic symptoms. You don't believe. So if I could trade all those years of going to all those treatments for just, again, 6, 7, 8 months of just learning this process, and I would trade it in a heartbeat. It's like, just learn this. It's going to be difficult, but it's going to strengthen you for life in all areas of your life. So relief comes a lot quicker when you stop chasing it, when you surrender, when you embrace uncertainty. It's very important. A lot of people come to me and they've got very controlling personality traits. So then to just surrender and just learn to just go with what's here is very important. Someone in my community said this, and you may be watching this. She said that she used to think that she had to control the river of her experience, the river being all the emotions she's experiencing and the symptoms. She had to control it and fix it. And then in this process, she learned to sit by the river and just let the whole thing flow by. If I'm going to be afraid, I'm going to let myself be afraid. If there's going to be symptoms, I'm going to let that happen. If I'm going to resist all of that, I'm going to let that happen. I'm not going to try and control it and change it anymore. I'm just going to surrender. It's a really beautiful metaphor that she used. So, challenge number 8, getting to the end of the challenges. Perfectionism. A lot of people in this they've gone into this mess because they're perfectionistic, and now they're being challenged by that very same trait in this process, constantly asking themselves, am I doing this right? Maybe I need to journal better. Maybe I'm not doing the meditation. Maybe I need to heal quicker. Like I said, perfectionism can get us into this situation because we're never quite content with the emotions we're feeling. We always think we're not doing it right. And we're very often identified with that part of us enough so that we'll convince ourselves we're doing it wrong. I'm not going to do it anymore. I mustn't be for this process. So the antidote to this is learning to really notice that that perfectionistic part is here, learning to notice how it's feeling. It's often feeling anxious, letting it feel anxious, attending to it with as much compassion as you can. You don't have to heal perfectly. In fact, you won't. It's going to be messy. It's going to be all over the place. You're going to have to learn the perfectionistic parts of you. We're going to have to learn to go, okay, this is the point of it. The point of it is I'm going to have some freakouts about whether or not I'm doing this correctly or not, and that's okay. Progress is messy. So challenge number 8 is perfectionism. Challenge number 9, there's a resistance maybe for some people slowing down. This may not apply to everyone, but chronic pain often stops us in our tracks. It means we can't go to work. It means we can't hustle in the same way. This is very much for, again, high achievers. We can't be as productive even if we're very driven. For a lot of people, slowing down feels unsafe. It helps to be distracted by life, to focus on our career. It feels like that's the purpose of life. And then chronic pain is slowing them down, and that just feels unnerving and unsafe. So the process feels daunting because it requires you to slow it down. It requires you to meditate and to notice what's going on inside. And that's difficult for people that just need to go, go, go. They feel like they're being lazy. They feel like a failure. They feel like it's dangerous to slow down. The antidote to this is to learn that, rest and slowing down is actually okay. It's safe. It's okay to take some time off. It's okay to take pauses in the day and not to have to hustle all the time. Slowing down isn't a failure. Our justification for living needn't be that we're, achieving a lot in our career or that we're perfect in every way. It's okay to just go and lie under a tree and look at the sky, and that be a big part of your day. When I started this process, I was meditating 7 days a week, and eventually I found some sort of medium balance where I don't meditate on the weekend anymore. I let myself not only slow down from my working life, but also from my healing life. I let myself just go lie under a tree and look at the sky. So I'm not pressurizing myself to do anything. And finally, challenge number 10 is just a general fear of feeling emotions, which again relates to one of the challenges I said earlier. But many people don't know what it means to feel an emotion. And they're often maybe even taught by other well-meaning practitioners that your emotions are the reason you have pain. Like, don't fear your pain, otherwise it's going to make it worse. You may have seen some of my videos where I speak about how I don't believe that at all. But a lot of people, they fear their fear. They fear their anger. They fear sitting and feeling anything, or they don't know how to feel it, or they fear uncertainty, or they fear confusion. They fear shame, rage, sadness. They think they'll drown in the emotion, or they think it'll overwhelm them or last forever. So a challenge to this process is that you're going to feel emotions, and a lot of people are terrified by their emotions. They think it's going to make pain worse. They think it's going to overwhelm them. They think it's going to make them depressed. The opposite is true. A life cycle of an emotion is actually fairly quick if you learn how to fully let it take over. If you fully let it just take over the body and get as big as it needs to, it rises and falls. Granted, in that life cycle, it can be very uncomfortable. I'm not saying it's comfortable, but you learn to just kind of let things rise, get as big as it needs to, and then you'll just notice it passes. The reason people end up in therapy or end up coming to see me one-on-one is because they're not yet already prepared to really sit in that life cycle of an emotion. They maybe get 20 seconds in and they go, no, I can't do it. I sit with them as a safe anchor to just give them a bit more time, a bit more minutes to sit with the emotion, to really see that it rises and falls. So as always, support really helps with the fear of feeling emotions. Just a bit more learning and understanding that no, emotions don't create pain. Resistance to emotions is what can create pain. Start by learning to just be with a bit of emotion in your meditation and your journaling and any sort of community support. The goal isn't to get rid of emotions, it's to get big enough, learn how to get big enough to feel all emotions. That's what we're doing with these tools. You don't need to feel everything at once. You can just give yourself time during the day, just periods of the day in meditation and journaling where you feel emotions, and the rest of the day you can distract yourself from them. You don't have to feel the whole day if you don't want to. That's it. Those are the 10 challenges and some of the antidotes. As always, as soon as I finish these videos, I always think, damn, I missed this one vital challenge. So if there's any other things that you feel challenged by, that you feel like I missed out and you want to write about, please write in the comments below on YouTube. If you're in my community, then you can also write below this video, and I'll most likely know the challenge and know an antidote to it because I've done this for many years. But that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Anything that you'd like to share or ask, you can share below. Otherwise, see you soon.